Welcome to How to Succeed in ECE Without Really Trying. I'm Dr. Linda DeBrunner, and today we're going to talk about how to use your course syllabus effectively. I just want to warn you that this video is a little bit bossy, but I wanted to make sure that I give you all the information you need to use your syllabus effectively. And even though you may know these things, probably being told to do them is still going to be helpful. Being successful in a particular class is mostly about figuring out what your professor thinks is important and then learning that material. The syllabus is your roadmap to getting started. The syllabus has institutional requirements, so you need to figure out from the syllabus what your professor thinks is the most important. Syllabi follow a standard format. You have information about your professor, the class, grading, and other institutional information. So as we go through the syllabus, and you could do this before you attend class, you want to find out things about your professor. You want to know their name. You want to remember their name, and you want to call them by their title. You need to know what your professor's office is. Where is their office located? Don't be asking the last week of class, hey, professor, where's your office? What are your professor's office hours? Make a note of them. If you can't attend their office hours, how do you make an appointment? These are all information items that are given in a syllabus. And probably the most important thing, what is the best way to contact your professor? Do they want to have you phone them during office hours? Do they want you to send them an email? Is there a way to contact them through the learning management system? Figure out what it is that your professor wants. And you should be able to tell this probably from the syllabus. If not, make sure it's clear the first day of class. The next thing that's given on the syllabus is information about the class itself. There's usually a general description. So what is the class about? Are there any hints given to your professor's approach? Are there any particular course learning objectives listed? Another thing about the class, what are the prerequisites for the class? If you don't have the prerequisites, then you should probably drop the class. It means you're not going to be prepared. If you have a situation where you need to take the class or else delay your graduation, you should see your advisor as soon as possible. What is the textbook for the class? Is it required? If so, how are you going to get the textbook? Do you need other content resources? Do you have a learning management system like Canvas that you need to be used? Is information going to be shared there? Are there books on reserve at the library? Is there needed software that you need to download to your personal computer? Is there a lab you can go to access any software? Is there virtual access to some of the software? These are all important questions about the resources you need for class. And just a note, if your professor doesn't follow the order of the book, it doesn't mean the book is bad. Doesn't mean somebody else chose it. It just means that your professor has a different narrative that they are telling. So they're telling the story of the class in a different way. This isn't bad. It just means it's different. So if your book doesn't follow the same order of your professor, a lot of times you can benefit by having the two different approaches. Next up, and probably the most important in terms of success, is the grading. What is the formula for grading? How is the grade calculated? Put that percentage grade breakdown where you will see it every day until you know it by heart. It's important for you to know how many exams you have, how much percentage each of them is. Is there a big project? All these things matter. What is the course schedule? Where is the class meet? What time is the class? Regardless of what the syllabus says, you should attend class every day. For example, often my syllabus says class attendance is not required, but that does not mean that I think that you should skip class. I do think my students should attend class every day. And the reason for attending class is these class meetings are basically a distillation of what your professor thinks is important. And the only way you can figure that out is by hearing your professor. Okay, other important things about the schedule. When is your final exam? Check the final exam schedule and put all your finals on your calendar. Identify any conflicts. If you need to move a final, do it as soon as possible. Similarly, when are your exams going to be? Does your professor tell you when they're going to be? Or are you going to have to guess? If you've got 2 exams in a semester, you can kind of figure out it's either 2 hunks of the class or 3 hunks of the class with exams in between the 3 hunks. So you can get a sense of that even if your professor can't tell you exactly what day it's going to be. They can probably tell you where in the content it's going to fall. So you can ask those kind of questions and see what you find out. Also, if you have any big assignments like projects or paper, see if you can find out when you will have the information given about them and when they will be due. When are your smaller assignments going to be due? Is homework due every week, every 2 weeks? Is it always due on a Thursday? What's the pattern? When are the assignments given? Are they given after you complete the material or before you complete the material? Different faculty have different ideas of how to do this. And the last part of the syllabus is what I consider the boilerplate. These are usually the institutional requirements about things that have to be included in the syllabus. Some universities put them all on a particular departmental page so that professors could just all give them out the same. But they are resources, information. If you need accommodations for learning disabilities, this is where you would find that information. If you need a resource, use it. If you need a tutor, see if there's tutoring provided. Remember that your syllabus is basically a contract between you and your professor of what you need to do to get a particular grade. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you can apply it to all your classes. The syllabus is available to help you know what you need to do to succeed. I'm Dr. Linda DeBrunner, and this is How to Succeed in ECE Without Really Trying. Following your syllabus and knowing what's in it is one of the easiest things you can do to be successful.